Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Precious Metal Summit Europe. And with me here now is Cora Gold for the first time. And we have Bert Monro, the CEO of the company, who wants to give us an insight. Bert, yeah, good day or good morning, even to England here.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for taking the time. Cora Gold, quite new to us. I think you are the first time at Commodity TV. So what's the company about? Where are you working?
Yeah, sure. Cora Gold is an AIM-listed in London gold company. We're focused in West Africa. Our projects are predominantly in Mali, but also in Senegal. We've got around 1,100 square kilometers of ground, so a really big land package with a main project called Sanankoro, as well as lots of other gold prospects as well around it.
Fantastic. So Mali, Senegal, two, let's say, jurisdictions, I would say, which are maybe not so super easy to work in, but we talk about that in a second. I have a pretty good feeling that you guys make something right here, because you did on your flagship project Sanankoro already a scoping study with a 107% IRR, and I think it's $41.5 million NPV at a gold $1,500 price. So how did that came out? Those are fantastic numbers.
Yeah, so Sanankoro is our main project. It's in Mali. Mali's had a commercial gold production for over 30 years now. So we find it relatively easy to work there in a sense. Good infrastructure, really good people who are well educated. The Sanankoro project, it's great for a number of reasons. One is it's a huge mineralized system. We've got over 25 kilometers of mineralized strike length on our permit, so it's huge. We've only drilled maybe 4 or 5 kilometers of surface expression to date. We've also got really deep oxides. So your oxide is nice free digging ore. So you've got up to 100 meters in places of oxides. So ordinarily you might get into fresh rock much shallower than that. So that has really positive implications for your cost of extraction and then also processing. So yeah, we delivered the scoping study in January. As you say, a really high margin project based around nice free digging material, good grade for oxides and a simple process route.
Okay, super. And I saw also that the investment is only like something like $25 million, and you did a financing for 21 million, or let's say a finance package. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, so Cora's kind of unique. We've got a great share register. You've got 2 large shareholders, the largest of which is the Quirk family, which has got a really strong back record of financing, building and running mining operations. So they were the major shareholder behind Lion Ore Mining, which ended up selling for over $6 billion to Norilsk a few years ago now. So Paul Quirk, who's a non-exec director of Cora, he's obviously part of that family, and he now works for a group called Lionhead Capital. So on the back of our scoping study, Lionhead put to us a funding term sheet, which on the assumption our feasibility study by the end of next year comes through with the same economics and the same capital costs, that they would fully finance the project with a blend of equity and debt. So pretty unique position to be in for a junior gold company, to have not only a good project, but also then have a financing package, which is sat there in place, obviously on the understanding and on the basis that we deliver a feasibility study by the end of next year on the basis of our scoping study we did earlier this year.
Fantastic. And then I saw also that you have $942 AISC, but on the other hand, I saw that you have like 1 to 2 million ounces approximately. I'm sure you have to drill a little bit more with only 100 meters depth. So why are the costs still at $942? I would have assumed they are a little bit lower, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess to explain that, so we have an SRK based study, which is an exploration target, which is 1 to 2 million ounces. Of that 1 to 2 million ounces, we've only brought a little under 300,000 ounces into resources. So over the next 6 months, our aim is to grow our resources, but also to increase the categorization. So we need to move into measured and indicated from inferred to obviously put it into a reserve. So I think one of the reasons our costs were slightly higher is because our mine life from our scoping study was short. So as you build out your resources and you get a longer mine life, you'll obviously benefit from economies of scale in terms of mining contract costs and such like. I think also, look, the nature of a scoping study is it's you haven't done the details to the same degree as a feasibility study. So we felt things like pit slopes were relatively shallow, and there'd be opportunities with active pit dewatering and such to increase your pit slopes and obviously reduce your strip ratio. And one of the big costs is obviously the movement of waste. So if you can reduce your strip ratio by increasing your pit slopes, these sort of things, these improvements we think we can bring in over the course of the feasibility study should have a positive impact on our all-in sustaining cost.
Okay, super. Let's assume everything goes the smooth way you want to have it. When would you start construction? When do you see this project in production?
Yeah, so in an ideal world, our timeline is that we would complete all of our feasibility studies and environmental studies before the end of next year. That would mean that the following year we'd be moving into construction. So our aim is to complete the feasibility study and the ESIA before the end of next year, and then 2022 you would then be moving into construction. So yeah, that's our outline timeline at the moment.
Okay, super. So that was Mali, and what's going on in the Senegal?
Yes, and Senegal, obviously, it's a neighboring country, as well, very prolific in terms of gold production and in terms of gold discovery. We've got one main permit there called Medina Fulbe. We're about to start a new drilling program on it there. It's relatively early stage, but we've made a discovery. So we're looking to follow up on that. But the majority of our work and the majority of our permits is in Mali, but we have got one project called Medina Fulbe in Senegal. It's on what's called the Kenieba window, which is arguably the most prolific belt in West Africa at the moment in terms of gold discoveries and gold mines. So we're right in the right area code or postcode, depending on what you guys call it. It's a really prospective area to be in, and we're going to be drilling it again in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully a really exciting time to keep your fingers crossed that the drill bit does the right thing and hits some gold. So yeah, an exciting time for us.
Fantastic. And aside, let's say, from the path to production, you have enough money in the bank, right, to fulfill all those work programs, and there's enough reserve.
Yeah, at the moment we've got about $5 million in the bank, so for us, really well capitalized. As a company, we run a very light overhead. There's only 2 people who aren't based in country, so we have no head office. So COVID world has not changed for us too much because we ran no head office sort of outside of Africa. We've got an office in Bamako, and all of our team are essentially Malians. So it's great to have a local company operating locally. It means you have a light overhead. So the vast majority of our money goes into the drill bit and into drilling out, hopefully, discoveries and growing our resources. So yeah, $5 million of cash in the bank, and then obviously have got the proposed funding package lined up for the end of next year on the basis of delivering a feasibility study.
Great. Let's talk last but not least about Mali and Senegal itself. So how do you feel in the country? How is it working, let's say, with permitting for your production on the one hand, and how does it work also in the Senegal? Because I assume that you have to permit also your drills there, right?
Yes, I mean, I guess both Mali and Senegal are established gold producing regions. So they've got obviously existing mining codes, ministries which are used to going through the permitting process. So I guess we've had a good experience to date of it. The nature of the exploration code is generally you get a 7-year permit, which you have to renew after 3 years and then after a further 2 years. So we've got over 10 permits. So you're always going through the process. Mali obviously had a change in government very recently in the last 2 months, so I guess you're finding your feet with a new set of ministers and things. But in terms of they are well established from a mining perspective. The last example in Mali of a company going from exploration to mining, or from an exploration license to a mining license, it took 3 months to go through it. So relatively straightforward, I understand from speaking to them, to go through that process. So that's the last example I've got in Mali of a company which took an exploration permit and turned it into a mining agreement. It was about a 3-month process from start to finish. So again, a relatively well trodden path. There's I don't know, a significant number of operating mines in Mali. So there are obviously some countries in Africa where there might not be an existing gold mine or any mine which is commercially operating. So in that instance, if you're the first company to go through that process, you're probably a little bit more nervous. But I think in our instance, there is the established mining code, and there's all the people have done it plenty of times previously. So yeah, fingers crossed for us when we come there.
Super. So everything is in good standing, I would call it.
Yeah, I think so. From a country perspective, you can't. You've got to go through it yourself in time, but as it stands, yes.
Super, perfect, Bert. Thank you very much. That was a great insight in your company. Also, I think for the first time at Commodity TV, and really impressive what you have achieved. And honestly, I like the numbers. We look really forward then to your feasibility study, or at least pre-feasibility. And of course, we want to see that mine in production, because this world needs a lot of more gold.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, look, thanks a lot for having me on. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you very much. You too. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, that was Bert Monro from Cora Gold, the CEO. And you heard it, gold in Mali and in Senegal. The company is on the path to production, has very strong shareholders and very strong partners. There is a finance package already proposed for the end of the year. And this is exactly what we like. Of course, you have on the one hand exploration, you have success already, and a project which can be brought within the next 18 to 24 months is easily in production. I suggest you check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.